What's up, guys? Welcome in. Cole Tucker with my partner, Zach Thomas. Starting tight end, Mr. Jacob Warren, University of Tennessee.
What up?
Jacob, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. Fantastic.
Glad to have you on. We're going to touch a little bit about Jacob here tonight. Farragut High School, local guy there. Great season this past year, headed into the bowl game. Got a lot of momentum headed in around the team as far as that and recruiting. We're going to start out with kind of where we're at with practice right now, headed into the bowl.
Yeah. This time of year is really unique in the way that, you feel like you're not really practicing for anything, right? Because the game's so far out and, a lot of the practices are kind of more relaxed or not as intense, I guess, as like a game week would be. Man, we've had a lot of fun just the past few days. They're not obviously not killing us or anything. So the practices aren't, they're pretty spaced out and everything. They're not trying to take care of us, but just having fun, man. Just good to be back out there. It seems like we were gone for so long. You know what I mean? It's only a couple of weeks, but a much needed couple of weeks after a long season, and just able to get back in there and play some ball. So we're all excited.
Yeah. Generally speaking, like how long of a delay, or I guess like how long of a break do you guys get in between the season ending and before like ball practice starts?
So I think it just depends. This year we got, it's probably a couple of weeks from the last game, because we've got finals. This staff's really good about trying to take care of us, like personally. So they gave us some time off to just kind of go home and get away for a little bit if we wanted to. And so there's been plenty of time to relax and everything. So
yeah, right. You kind of mentioned practices have been fun, right? Like it's not been that big of a grind or anything. Right. That's kind of been a little bit of the theme this year, like for Tennessee football for 2021. I would kind of say like fun. Like what would you say would be the reason as to why things just have, from the outside looking in, it seems like it's just been fun for you guys. Like, has it been fun? And then what do you think that would be the reason why it is?
I'm glad that at least looks like from the outside like we are, and that the fans and stuff are having more fun at the games and everything. That's cool to hear. But it's just I don't know. It all started when they got here, and I'm sure y'all remember, like we had dodgeball tournaments and stuff, and Coach was like in the mix with us. Like dude's got a cannon, so like he was in there in the mix with us. We were doing kickball, we were doing pickup basketball, just spending more time with each other. And trying to be like intentional, I guess. It sounds corny or whatever, but just trying to be intentional, like building relationships with each other and just enjoying being in each other's presence, I guess. And the coaches have made that really easy, I think, because they're right there in the mix with us. So just that whole, it's just like hanging out with your family, man. Like You're gonna have a good time. We get along, we fight here and there, bicker and stuff, but at the end of the day, we just enjoy being around each other and playing with each other. So that's what it looks like from the outside, because that's kind of what's going on inside.
It's real. And we've missed that, recently, but people don't understand how important that is, as well as I do, when you're getting a team to buy in, the bonding over this from now, you said it's so much fun with these, these feels like useless practice, but deep down, and it's going to pay off next year by getting those extra 15 practices and the team being able to grow. The excitement with Hendon coming back. I know Zach probably felt the same way I did when I saw the quote come out when Coach said, let's go to Atlanta, and he told him, like, dude, my blood was boiling at that point, dude. I'm already ready for football season next year. How do you and Hendon, you seem to mesh pretty well. He come in kind of a guy that was kind of overlooked, with Milton winning the job. I still say that outside looking in, I think that Joe – physically, all the physical attributes and all that, is probably the most talented guy in that quarterback room. But the team just kind of responded to Hendon, when he took advantage of the opportunity that he got, and he ran with it. And it's paid off.
It was. Hendon stepped up when he needed to and started making plays. And I was literally just talking about this earlier today. Like Joe is one of the most talented quarterbacks, I think.
Oh my goodness, dude! Like as a football mind, you got to appreciate how great it is. Like,
but it's great having both of them like at any time ready to rock and roll. Like. We're just as confident with Joe, and I think Joe could put up all these numbers too. Obviously, Hendon is going crazy. Hendon's having an amazing season. Like he's leading the team like we really need. But it's good to know, we've got some real dudes in that room.
Yeah, I mean, you know as well. You're a guy. I'm 6'6", probably 195 now. I think I played at like 230, but you're 6'5", 6'6",
Right.
and he's our size. But the thing, I mean, as athletes that were athletic, the things that he can do is kind of LeBronish and that side of stuff.
Crazy, dude. It's crazy because when he first got here, I was like, I mean, I knew he was a big guy. People were comparing him like to Cam Newton and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And he got here, and I was like, okay, yeah, he's probably like, he's big, whatever. But like, man, like I met him, and he's a great dude, cool dude, like whatever. He came to me like, whatever, shook my hand, dapped me up, and I was like, golly, dude, like there's no way he played quarterback. Like, this man needs to be in our room. Like he needs to be a tight end or something.
And I was telling Zach before we hopped on, then I'll let Zach get a question in. Now that I'm so glad that Heupel came in, especially for your sake, because people don't. I mean, football guys know this, but dude, you are elite as far as, and you weren't you know what I'm saying. You weren't used correctly with the previous staff, and there was some more issues that go way deeper than that, obviously. But I mean, the asset, the tight end is positioned and the way you play. I mean, you're fixing to have. I mean, you had a great year this year, but you got a chance to really take that draft stock from here to here next year, the big huge season.
No, I appreciate that. I really do. It's been great to just kind of be able to see, I don't want to dwell on the past or whatever, but just to know that, like I made a lot of plays in high school. I don't care. I don't really care about high school anymore, but made a lot of plays in high school. Like knew that I had the ability to make plays and with the ball and stuff. And then I get here and like you said, just kind of underutilized, not just me, but just the position in general.
Terrible. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I mean, dude, Donwood Anderson, there's no reason why that dude shouldn't have been like one of the best tight ends in the nation. I won't get into that, but you know what I'm saying? It's good. It's good now to see how it's kind of come along and we're starting to kind of get some of the attention that I think that me and Princeton deserve. And
shout out to Princeton as well, man.
Shout out Princeton. Princeton works hard, man. And Princeton, I don't know, talk about that one athletic dude. That kid, he's crazy. He's crazy.
How's it kind of been this year with Coach Golish and with him being an offensive coordinator and tight ends coach? Like how was that sort of work, like in sort of team meetings and preparation and everything, like week in, week out, with having an offensive coordinator as your position coach?
Right. Yeah, it's obviously new because I mean it was Jim Chaney last year and with Tyson Hill in the years before and stuff. It was, we would see him all the time, and whenever we would have offensive meetings, like you would get to see him and he would talk to you. But other than that, like you were with your position coach and you didn't really get to run stuff by the OC, and like you felt like you were kind of disconnected. But the tight end position, like especially in this offense, like we've got to think pretty fast. Like you've got to know a lot of different things, different checks that involve you and pass game and run game, everything like that. And so it's awesome to be able to just I think that's the most fitting position, if it's not quarterback, than to be tight end for the OC to coach, because we have so many questions. Like, man, like every single practice, if I see a look or something, I know that I can go straight to the source and he knows exactly what he wants, you know what I mean? Versus this look or that look. And, I'm a big thinker. Like I love, pride myself on just kind of being a student of the game, whatever. And I love being able to walk up to him and Coach Hype and just like run stuff by them and see what they think. And, if they're like, yeah, like that's a great idea, or yes, that's exactly, like you're on the right train of thought there. So it's reassuring to have somebody that just knows so much that's literally in my room all the time.
Yeah. This is one of those questions we talked about beforehand, with Coach, you mentioned Coach Chaney. I always was a big, I liked Coach Chaney. I thought he was a great offensive mind. Obviously, he's worked with some great quarterbacks in the past. Yeah. I just felt like I didn't feel like he had the opportunity to open up as much as he would have wanted to in the time that he was there.
Right. Yeah. He obviously I don't know the whole situation, but just from what I could see, what we were practicing, what we were installing and stuff, like the man's a genius, and he's also hilarious. Like I don't know if you pressers or anything with him, but the man's hilarious. Like he was so much fun to be around. Like I truly miss him and enjoyed having him. But it was just kind of the way it worked out, I guess, with his offense, his position. So
so I mean, obviously you have the unique position of being from Farragut, playing at Farragut High School from the Knoxville area, and you obviously know. So you kind of grew up with the Vols, kind of always, being the home team and everyone around you being Tennessee fans. So you kind of know how crazy and rowdy Tennessee fans can get.
Yeah.
I am curious on this, like how often do your Farragut folks, just in terms of friends, family, do they reach out for the inside scoop on things, or like tickets and sideline passes and stuff like that?
Yeah. See, like, I don't know. I think a lot of people that I know, like, I try to build like genuine like relationships with a lot of people. And so, like you said, like there's quite a few people asking like, oh, hey, like, what's going on with Hendon, right? Or is this guy okay? Like, is he really hurt? Like, what did he do? And I'm like, I'm not going to tell you. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, even if I knew, a lot of the stuff that they ask me, I don't even know. Like, honestly, who's starting this week? I don't know. I don't make those decisions. Like,
that's what's so great.
Here to play the game, dude. Like, the coaches make those decisions. If you want to ask somebody, ask them. They're not going to respond to you. So,
and that's from the top down. Coach Hype will set that tone at the beginning of the year. From what I saw, even in pressers when, I think Wes Rucker in the press conference one time this year was like, I know, probably not going to get anything, coach, but any injury updates, he goes, we'll evaluate and we'll let you know at the end of the week, pretty much,
You'll see on Saturday if he's playing or not. If he's playing, he's not hurt. If he isn't, then he's hurt.
That's it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I know how Tennessee fans are. So I knew that being from Farragut, you've got to have at least like all these people that you probably never talked to in high school are hitting you up all the time for stuff like that.
It is what it is. It's all right.
On the flip side of that, so as a current player, but this, the age of social media, like you guys have, I'd probably say just really the last decade is really social media has been as prevalent as it is. And even especially with NIL, even now more than ever.
Yeah.
And we talked about Vol Nation and how Vol Twitter and how rowdy and crazy they can be. I'm always curious on this, just as a current player, whenever you see things like leading up to a game or after a game, like how in tune are you guys, or do you even care at all? Because like I know that there's a lot of noise out there. Like how do you go through sifting through all that? Which sometimes it can be a lot of trash on Twitter, unfortunately. But
luckily, I think I'm in a position where a lot of the stuff that I see, at least about me, is generally, positive about, oh, wow, did anybody see that block that Warren had? Or, that was a great catch by Warren over the middle. Just simple stuff like that. Cause I'm not in a position like quarterback or like a wide receiver where there's, I guess technically I could drop a ball or something that would be a touchdown or whatever. I'm sure I made so many mistakes that people don't even see, but people get on the quarterback so quickly because it's so obvious, like all the pressure's on them. They always have the ball in their hands, but I'm in a position where I receive a lot more, like, I guess, praise and gratitude than I do hate. But when you go on there and you see it and they're talking about your buddies or they're talking about your team, and you just kind of have to understand that people are going to say what they're going to say. And like, not to be disrespectful, but a lot of people, the majority of people have no clue what they're talking about.
None whatsoever. You deal with
Absolutely.
Deal with it on a daily basis.
You're entitled to your opinion, but until you go through a lot of the things that I go through and that my teammates go through just to play the game and just to try to impress you and to impress or to entertain you, you can have your opinion, but that doesn't mean that I think that I should have to listen to it.
Absolutely. Following up on the Zach's Farragut question, being a local guy, we're Tennessee guys like that. I played basketball, but obviously we've been coming up there since we were little. And how are you 22, Jacob?
21.
21. So I'm 29. Zach, you're what, 26, 27?
27. I had to think about it for a second.
I remember. Unfortunately for your generation, Jacob, like my brother, he's 21, and I actually remember, like, I went to the SEC championship in 04 against Auburn. We got beat, and then I went in 07 against but I remember there at the tail end of, we were still dominating the East, getting Eastern titles, and unfortunately for, my brother's diehard like we are, Tennessee, but you guys don't really, you probably remember some, but you haven't had that chance to see or be a part of that, but leading to ending that, the reason I say that is the Ole Miss game this year, we lost, but that's the first time since I was probably 12, 13 years old that I felt Neyland Stadium was, and this is intimidating to those guys on the other side. Like it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it's gonna get to the point where people don't, they have us on their schedule, and it's not like, all right, cool, we got Tennessee. Like it's gonna be like, man, like
I've been called crazy 3 times in the past 3 weeks by a couple of different I actually consider pretty knowledgeable football people. But I told them, I said, Josh Heupel, if he continues the next 6 weeks like he is right now, this little recruiting period, he's going to field a 10 to 11 win team next year in Knoxville if they play and they produce the way I believe they can. I mean, that's my opinion. How do you feel about that?
No, I agree. It was on the press like before the season. One of the reporters asked me, like, I think he said, well, I mean, Jacob, it's pretty obvious that y'all aren't going to win. I don't even know what the number was. He said, it's pretty obvious y'all aren't going to win 8 games this year. And it like triggered me. I was like, why is that obvious? Like, I'm sorry. Like, we go into the week every single week, like, we're going to win the game. You never go, as a competitor, you guys know this, like, you never go into a game thinking you're going to lose. Like, that would be silly. Why would you play? And so, like, real talk, that expectation is like at least 10 next year. You know what I mean? Like, that's how we think, really, like in the locker room. We're like, wow, the fact that we were able to do this first year, had some ups and downs, had some big losses that we feel like we could have won.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't nothing you guys did. I mean, I remember sitting there watching the games and, as a fan or a player, you let yourself begin to believe like we're fixing to do this. And then of course the depth and, just ran out of gas at certain points. And that's nothing you can do about, but you felt like we legitimately had a chance against Georgia, Ole Miss. We gave them Alabama. We gave them a game. That's all you can do.
Right, and we'll get to the point where we can close out on those games.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll be really good games.
No doubt. So we're actually going to be out at the bowl game. I don't know what we're going to set up and do some stuff, but we're going to be. I guess will you guys leave out for Knoxville immediately afterwards, or will y'all be staying in town?
I know you can. I think you can leave right after, or
you can, so you can leave or stay.
I'm sure I'll probably end up staying and just hanging out for a little while.
We might get together somewhere afterwards and we do a little post and kind of promote some things and maybe some NIL stuff come up we'll discuss in the future as well.
All right. Yeah.
I do have 2 more things for me. One, I mean, you did kind of talk a little bit about, you guys are starting to kind of believe in that locker room, and that's music to, all of our ears. It's just that belief. And there's a lot of momentum in recruiting as well, where you're getting guys that are coming in, even though they're going to be freshmen and 18 years old, but these are guys that could come in and potentially play right away. In terms of recruiting as a current player, what's your sort of recruiting pitch message out there to like people who are or players who are considering Tennessee as to why they should jump on the hype train, so to speak?
I mean, for me at least, like I'm not big on, just because the way that my recruiting went, like I'm not big on the whole like trying to fluff everything up and make it seem like everything's like roses and daisies. Like, you obviously don't want to scare kids off or whatever, but I think if a kid has the right mindset and intentions and understands the real world, like when you tell him like, man, we wake up early, we come to work, like we learn a lot, like it's going to be tough mentally, like whatever, but to like a competitor, that's the challenge is going to be like so attractive, you know what I mean? And then like the ability to come in and like make something out of not nothing, but to try to turn something around and really, really do something. I think that's really attractive in itself. So there's nothing really that I could say like that would make them come here, but just like, man, like come be a part of it. We got a really good group of dudes that I promise, like if you just buy in, you'll fit into and you'll feel at home and we can go do something special.
How's your father, James, correct? How is he doing? How's James doing?
Big James, he's doing great. He's I don't know, he's awesome, man. Like just support him and my mom and everybody always talks about Big James. Shout out Heather.
Hey, dude, that's what a lot of people that's in our generation don't really realize. Your dad VFL early 90s. But the advice that I'm sure you're able to lean on him to get is huge, as well as a father. Not only that, but as a player as well.
Right. Yeah, he knows. I mean, there's periods of time when, you know, you go through these stages and stuff and in college, and it's like, man, like, is this for me? Like, is this for me? This is tough. Like, as a redshirt freshman year, like, golly, I'm not used to this. Like, I'm used to sitting on the bench. I'm not used to lifting all these weights, and I'm getting bigger, and I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different things that you just have to kind of like listen to somebody. I mean, it's just parenting, honestly. Just being a good parent, being a good dad, and being there for me. He just checked in with me and talked to him on the phone earlier about just how the week of practice is going and all that stuff. And you know, he can even after games we'll sit down and he'll be like, "What happened on the insert or whatever? Like you just lost your footing." And I was like, "Yeah." I mean, when I came through the hole, like I tripped over somebody, and he's like, "Well, yeah, like to be better with that, like start." You know what I mean? Like, and he's trying to just help me in any way he can. So, yeah, it's been great, man. It's been really great.
Yeah, we Zach, you know, a lot of other great stuff is coming out of Moss Motor Company in South Pittsburgh, dude. Official auto sponsor of the show. Go see the guys in South Pittsburgh. Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Round dealer, the best around in Tennessee. Also, shout out to the Athletic Shop, official apparel provider of the show. We got some new apparel coming. We're going to be repping it on the show. Maybe we'll get Jacob some to wear around, you know, something like that. But definitely shout out to those guys.
Any NIL deals that you have currently and that you're working on, or something maybe coming up in the future?
Yeah, got to plug the main one, Craven Wings. This is a local wing spot that I actually just ate there tonight.
Fire.
Yeah, dude, fire, man. Like some of the best, like really the best wings, quality wings, like that's in town. And
where at in particular in Knoxville?
Yeah, where at, you said?
Yeah.
There's two locations, one in Seymour, right there on Chapman Highway, and then there's one in Farragut. You familiar like the Chodo, like North Shore?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's on South North Shore, out in Farragut. So got my own sauce there, spicy lemon pepper. It's my favorite. So definitely go check that out.
Craven Wings, right?
Craven Wings.
Shout out Craven Wings. You guys go check it out. Support Jacob. Support those guys.
You can get the Jacob Warren sauce at Craven Wings.
Fire, dude.
Sauce 87. Sauce 87.
Dude, that's lit.
But got them. Got a couple other like little things here. Sneakerhead Golf Company is this little apparel company, and they make head covers for putters and golf clubs and stuff.
Oh, you're a golfer, Jake?
Yeah, man, dude. I'll tear anybody up out there.
Bro, we got to get on the links. What's your handicap? What's your handicap?
Let's do it. I talk a lot of crap. I'm not that
good. We need to play, dude. Maybe do something.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
I got a few things in the works for the beginning of next year too. Just I don't know. Stay tuned on the Instagram, on the Twitter, and see what pops up.
Gerald Riggs Jr., he'll be back with us soon. He's dealing with some family stuff with his family, but he will be back soon, hopefully. Be back for the bowl game with us. But Jacob, we appreciate you coming on with us. Look forward to seeing you at the bowl game, and maybe we'll talk some more and do a lot more in the future together.
Cool. Yeah, y'all are awesome, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.